You have many machines?
A very modern thing, you know, with small televisions, apparatus and everything. Looks like a factory.
Oh.
A watching central, you know.
I see. So do they have a bed to sleep?
No, it isn't a bed. There are 3 seats in it. And they can change them, and then they can sleep in it.
Oh, I see.
It's very big.
So it should be somewhere around here?
Oh, I think it was more that side.
Yes. Here about, there's log.
What?
Yes, wood.
The long wood, yeah. And the ship, I think, it was somewhere here up.
Yes. Between here and there.
Between here and there, yeah.
Yes. Oh.
What's this, about 110, 120 meters from here to there?
Did you try to close to it? Did you try to walk down too close to the UFO?
No, you see, if I take pictures, they always tell me you have to stay there.
Oh.
We will be here and you have to be there.
Ah, I see.
I can't go so close to get some special things on the picture, you know. It doesn't allow it.
Oh.
Months earlier, 3 35mm stills had been extensively analyzed. This one was coded the woodpile scene and had been examined by Neil Davis, a physicist and aerospace engineer. He tested them with a microdensitometer and determined that the analysis of the separations did not reveal any details that would cast doubt on their authenticity. The conclusion of his report states, "Nothing was found in the examination that would cause me to believe the object in this photograph is anything other than a large object photographed some distance from the camera." The photographs were not the only physical evidence undergoing detailed scrutiny. Marcel Vogel, a senior scientist and chemist with IBM, had been carefully analyzing the tiny metal fragments Semyasa had given Billy. Metallurgical analysis had revealed the presence of the rare earth element thulium, but it was through the lens of a scanning electron microscope that Vogel made his most amazing discoveries.
I could not explain the type of material that I have and its discreteness by any known combination of materials. I could not put it together myself as a scientist. If I were to take these combinations and put it into a furnace, melt it, then pour it out and pull a little ingot, I would see all of these elements present there in any one area. But I don't. I see this discrete bits of material. Now, it can only happen by some form of a cold fusion process where you have the elements present and you fuse them together so they still maintain their identity, but they interpenetrate into one another. It's also a challenge because I showed it to one of my friends who was a metallurgist, and he shook his head. He said, "I don't see how it can be put together." And that's the way we are right now. And I think it's important that those of us who are in the scientific world sit down and do some serious study on these things instead of putting it off as figments of people's imagination.
Could I say this material is extraterrestrial?
It doesn't look like anything that we've made here. At this moment, I would feel very much inclined to accept what was given to me as being true.
I see.
I respect the people I have met so far, their integrity, their willingness to work. Mr. De La Tosa in his work on photography, and Mr. Stevens, the way he has done his best to give me specimens. We have all done this for one thing, to serve and to find out what truth there is to this.
At Bachtel Hernley, on the 26th of March, 1976, Billy took a remarkable series of 35mm stills depicting two distinctively different beam ship variations. The purpose of this demonstration was to allow Billy the opportunity to obtain what he calls photo proofs by photographing beam ships with known objects such as this tree branch. But the 35mm stills were only a portion of the photographic evidence gathered that day at Bachtelhornli. Billy took several minutes of 8mm movie footage as well. Here, the film has been cut. The tampering took place when Billy allowed an individual in Germany to borrow it for personal examination. Irregardless, this footage was extraordinary because it offered a rare glimpse of a Variation 3 beam ship and 2 remote-controlled scout ships, all in the same scene. The bobbing is due to the craft riding the waves of the Earth's magnetic surface, very much like that of a boat on the waves of an ocean. One of the stills taken at Bachtelhornli would undergo computer enhancement, allowing the opportunity to study the intricate details of this beam ship. In June of 1975, at Berg Rumlikon, Billy took over 75 stills of this Variation 2 ship. The sun can clearly be seen reflecting off the craft's metallic skin. And once again, Billy had his movie camera.
How about this? Is this the same one, same day?
The same day. That's all the same film.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first place in Rumlikon we was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And here the ship is jumping away. There the film isn't cut on that place when the ship jumps away. It's nearly the speed of light and you can't see anything. It is here and it goes.
Japanese analysis of this footage would reveal, through super slow motion, that an unexplained light shift occurs 3 frames prior to the beam ship's dematerialization and rematerialization. It is believed that the craft is emitting some form of energy 3/20ths of a second prior to its disappearance or reappearance. One of the most important contact sites was less than 5 minutes from the Meier farm and located in a nature preserve. Obersadeleg offered a unique look at a complete sequence of stills. These scenes, taken in the spring of 1975, were coded the Tree Line series. This photo was selected for detailed analysis because it offered excellent reference points for computer triangulation. Trees to the front, side, and rear. Measurements were taken from the camera's point of view to where Junichi and Billy stood, near where the beam ship was reported to hover. The distance between objects and points of reference were checked and rechecked for accuracy. Then the measurements were fed into a computer, and the edges of known objects, such as the trees, are translated into pixels. Since these measurements are known, the number of pixels in the edge of the unknown object, the craft, gives its distance. The beam ship is determined to be precisely where Billy said it was, and mathematical triangulation gives its size, 7 meters, or about 21 feet in diameter. Junichi, like our team, had been fascinated by the Meier photography, yet cautious. He had investigated UFOs around the world and never before seen photographs or movie footage this detailed. It seemed too good to be true. Yet when questions arose, there was always another piece of footage to stir the sense of wonder. Close examination of this footage clearly shows the craft moving behind the large tree. When the size of the beam ship is compared to that of the tree and the farmhouse, it becomes obvious that it would be impossible to suspend it with strings. In addition, the top of this enormous tree is seen to move as the craft passes over it. This movement can be attributed to the backwash of air created by the beam shift. With a full day scheduled, we left the farmhouse early to visit more contact sites. As we rounded a curve, Billy halted the Land Rover to point out his native village, Hindwell. As the camera